Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for combos.
Let's see how long the opponent lets us do cool things.
Triggers. What is happening? Commanders.
In my opinion, the most broken deck you're gonna see.
Monkeys. This is Historic Brawl. It's me, it's CGB. Today we are playing Ashiok in Historic Brawl, but quick production note for you standard enjoyers. I'm going to try to keep a schedule where I post my Historic Brawl and other format content on Sundays and Mondays. This is because I post standard videos on those days on other channels, CoolStuffInc.com on Sunday, and usually, not always, but usually the MTG Arena official channel on Monday. And that means that those of you who love standard can get more standard on those other channels, and those of you who are down for double CGB can get a video here and a video there. And you guys know, in my hearty heart, I still love Historic Brawl, and I don't want to wait a month for standard to get stale before I dive in and play some of the new cards and commanders, especially when Historic Brawl got a bigger shakeup than any other format on Arena, because the entirety of the Enchanting Tales set is actually legal in Historic Brawl. Yeah, Necropotence is legal in Historic Brawl. There's a bunch of other insane cards that are legal in Historic Brawl, and I have no idea what we're gonna see when we go enter that queue. So, Ashiok Wicked Manipulator. I always want to say Wicked Nightmare. I feel like that would have been a sweeter title, but Wicked Manipulator, Ashiok. This card is very interesting, and I just played it in standard where it is good, but in Historic Brawl there are so many ways to take advantage of the passive ability of the card, which is, if you would pay life while your library has that many cards in it, exile that many cards from the top of your library instead. There are so many ways for a black deck to pay life to get cards, and this deck takes advantage of all of it, making Ashiok a wonderful commander. So, of course, we have the aforementioned Necropotence. If you haven't seen this card, it is busted. I played it long ago. It was the most busted thing in standard in its day, Type 1. No, Type 2 as it was called. It was also the most busted thing in Type 1 a good amount of the time. It continues to be amazing. Basically, what you need to know, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library face down, put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. So yeah, you play this, you want to draw 7, draw 7. You want to draw 20, draw 20. You play this with Ashiok, which the cool thing is it's an enchantment, so you can put it down the turn before you play Ashiok, then play Ashiok, and you can exile 1 for 1. Every 1 card you exile from your deck is 1 card in your hand, and yeah, draw 20. Draw 30, draw 40, no, usually no problem. Do watch your library size, but you can kind of draw your deck with Necropotence, Ashiok combined. Hope you have a Reliquary Tower on the field, otherwise your end step is going to be a discarding fiesta. But there's so many more ways to pay life. Necropotence is just one of the busted ones. But you think about the trigger on the upkeep from the One Ring. You think about Grizzlebrand. And by the way, Agatha's Soul Cauldron, where is it? Can exile Grizzlebrand and turn any creature on the battlefield, including an Ashiok Nightmare, into a Grizzlebrand activated ability of pay 7 life, draw 7 cards, except you don't pay 7 life, you exile 7 cards, and then you draw 7 cards. Yeah, I love a black Historic Brawl control deck. I absolutely love a mono black control deck. Always have. This may be one of the best because we turn the most realist of drawbacks, the greatness at any cost, the pay life for cards, into not so much of a drawback, and that is available through the command zone. So what you need to know is we're just gonna outdraw everything. So let's dive in. Let the wicked manipulating nonsense begin. On the draw with a black market connection and a ramp piece against Ashiok. Are we in the Ashiok queue? Did Ashiok get its own queue already? No way, right? This is just the matchmaker being the matchmaker. Brutal. Will it be the ramp piece or the advantage engine? The advantage engine. Fortunately, we drew another. Not a free one, though. Ooh, Bitter Blossom. Suddenly, our turn 2 play is complicated. I mean, the sooner we get down to Bitter Blossom, the more pressure we can put on their Ashiok. But ramping lets us do both of these next turn and Ashiok the following turn, so I think the idol is the best play. Opponent probably has a Shieldred's Edict, something that's holding priority there. They're going to ramp into their Ashiok. which is going to punish us a little bit for not playing Bitter Blossom. Just a little bit. Beseech? Beseech. Ooh. Ooh, that is so good with the Bitter Blossom, potentially next turn. Okay then. This is going to get interesting. What do we beseech? What's the best way to just wreck a planeswalker right off the board? I think I have a soul transfer, but we have no creature in the yard. And they don't have the land. You gotta run enough land. These decks require so many mana sources to function well. Pure? I could go get Bowmasters, and Pure could just be game. We're gonna have to have enough mana, but I think we'll be able to keep the opponent busy long enough to do that. This is probably Sheldred's Edict bait. The Nightmares are really useful, especially for pressuring the opponent's Ashiok. And if by chance they don't remove Ashiok, we're going to need blockers. Okay, no Sheldred's Edict. Maybe they have a March? I'm trying to think of what was hold priority on empty board. March wouldn't, actually. I block. The Nightmares can get a lot bigger, so I value them way higher than the Fairy. I have a Soul Shatter. All right. Works. Ashiok will return on one side of the battlefield or another. That's just rude. We keep that. I started running God Pharaoh statue more and more. It's so good against Italy, and it's so good against Emoti. But sometimes you just ramp out ahead of your opponent. They miss one land drop, and you statue them into the Stone Age. So all their spells now cost 2 more. An artifact is basically not removable for black most of the time. Pay 1 life and it gets +1/+0. Interesting choice of a card. I guess they added everything they could that makes them pay life. We scry again. A Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is a pretty good card, but we're almost to winning the game if we have the land. So I'm just going to go for that instead. So we could beseech into Sheldred. We could also beseech into Bowmasters. I think it's Sheldred. The opponent probably can't remove it, and they're going to scoop before we even fetch. But once you have Sheldred and cast Peer, it's game over. Good initial outing for Bitter Blossom. Ashiok's Nightmares also making an appearance. And of course, Beseech the Mirror, the new tutor. I think it's way better in Historic Brawl than it is in Standard. Zakama, Primal Calamity. Ramp to the moon and cast this monster. We're on the draw. This hand is not terrible, but it has no ramp piece. And as such, we have to mulligan it. This hand also has no ramp piece. It does have Nykthos, though. Doesn't have much in the way of devotion. What would the Grim Tutor even be for? I don't know. But at least it means we won't miss our land drop. I'll keep it. I really hope the opponent plays mana creatures, not ramp spells. Oh, what a draw. Ah! We're not tracking. We're not 4-2. Hold up. "1-0 in a mirror, if that even counts for anything, but welcome to the arena." Okay, the opponent not kicking it off too much here. Lantern. Bauble. Four mana do what? Not much. Let's Grim Tutor. I honestly am thinking about thought seizing them, but things are going so slow. Invoke Despair is a very good card. But if all they're going to do is play land, how do I shut that down? I guess I could get Karn and turn off their lantern for starters. Not the worst. And we do need a turn 4 play, right? No? We've got this. All right, what's the perfect card to go with Ashiok? That's what I should be thinking about. Just my own game plan, not what they're doing, which is very hard because I'm a control mage. Yeah, let's go. You guys want to see the Necro Potents in action? I will show you. Path to the Festival. They are doing the thing with the ramp. One thing we need to be super mindful of, don't have too many creatures and enchantments on the and artifacts on the battlefield, which is not great for the devotion. Let's drop the Ashiok. There's still a turn shy of Zakama.
Something beautiful.
Do we make the nightmares? Yep. We've got access to a lot of cards in our hand. Let's get the growing threat onto the battlefield.
From these nightmares.
Ancient Green Warden. That is a big creature, and I'm happy to see it. Whoa! What a top deck. We're still a little ways away from Nykthos being a great card. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, unfortunately. If it were 7, we could invoke Despair and cast another removal spell. The Necropotence is, let's see, 5 and then make 5. Necro is kind of free here. Let's do it. Let's activate it the first time. Exile a card. Put a card aside because now the nightmares will grow. Let's make 5 mana. Let's also make more nightmares. Let's really put the pressure on. And let's Persistence the Ornithopter. Slow them down. Okay, let that resolve. Feed the Swarm on the Green Warden. Pay life. Oh no, take damage. Wrecked. Let's get some cards. So we can draw like 20 cards here. We can go as far as we feel we need to. And I think about half the deck sounds good. Or at least until the timer starts going. Nothing wrong with that, right? I'm starting to feel great about my Grim Tutor. So there are 10 cards we're going to draw on end step. I know right now it doesn't look very productive. and Zakama says I don't want to play anymore. Look, I have an addiction. It's more card draw. Yorion, no! Not like this. Yorion's a really tough matchup for any of the mono black decks because they tend to play artifacts and other permanents like enchantments that sit on the battlefield and generate value every time they play their commander. So this could be very hard. We're on the draw again. It's another slow hand. This one has cards that are way too expensive without the ramp to get there. Easy mulligan. I guess I'll keep it. Turn 3, we have an advantage machine, an advantage engine. Liliana's Contract is another card in the deck that doesn't usually win with the demon thing. I don't have that many demons, but it's a draw 4 and the pay 4 life. If you play it the turn after Ashiok, sometimes you just don't even have to pay that life. I was really hoping it was just a Spirited Companion or something of that nature that we could get off the board. They're just passing with open mana. Hate that. Counter spells? Probably. Liliana. Most of the time they'll counter a Planeswalker or remove a Planeswalker, and I don't actually love Liliana in the spot I'm currently in, to be honest. They're letting me move to discard, so sure. I think we dropped the land here. Acrobatics. I mean, surely they're going to do something about her now. And, okay, spot removal. Cool. Comes with a clue. Love it. Very control-y Yorian so far. Let's play around quench type effects. See if they want to nuke the bank buster. Nope. Not yet, anyway. Resto Angel, sure. It's a 3/4 flying flash. Can't wait to cast Innocent Blood. It does create the blink loops with Yorian, but right now there's no advantage machine on the battlefield. There's no, you know, Omen of the Sea or anything. So I don't think they're in a hurry to play Yorian. Yorian? No Yorian? Okay. Draw. Let's work on the bank buster so it can start attacking soon. The blood that is innocent. That sounds so bad. Pass so we can draw 2 or Edict. They have open mana. I'm sure they're sitting on some kind of a Tail's End or a counter spell. Just don't give them anything good to do. Just keep accumulating advantage. Eventually we'll find like Thoughtseize. Get in their hand. Figure stuff out. The Hall of the Storm Giants. Edict is very good against that. Ooh, land. Hey, we're starting to outdraw them by a mile. Just gonna play the idol. Pass the turn. We are chilling. I'll get down the arena soon. It's all about like getting mana set up and having the right amount of mana to also do Bank Buster and also potentially cast Edict and make sure we're taking actions every turn while they kind of don't. Oh my god. Really? That's a good sign. Maybe they don't have a counterspell. Stone Rain. Land destruction. They have something that was holding priority, though. Another land they could play? I don't know. Ashiok. Yeah! Make dorks. Contract. Dark Ritual. Contract. Exile 4, draw 4. Necro. And as mentioned, eventually we'll find a discard effect and really get him. Whoa! That means what? If they didn't reveal a card this way, draw a card. They have no non-creatures and no non-lands. So it's creatures and lands. Alrighty. That can't be bad for us. Your Yorian deck needs stuff to blink. Exclusion Mage. Maybe they've just been holding back things that interact with creatures. Does probably mean they're not going to counter Necropotence. Eh? Combo on the stack? Let's make nightmares.
There is no waking from these nightmares.
And no. Well, we'll hold back. Who knows? They might have some ambitions about attacking. Combat. So because we exile a card pre-combat with Necropotence, the nightmares trigger. Now we could crew this up and attack with it. But leaving Ashiok vulnerable sounds bad. So would you like to block with your only Yorianable thing? No. Alright, let's play out some cards because we're going to draw a whole bunch of cards. Davriel. Resolves. Might as well remove your creature from the board. If they have a flicker effect, let's get it out of their hand. Let's Scoop it up. We still don't get to see all the Necro cards we would draw, but I'd probably draw about 20 more cards after that ability resolved. It's Lotho. Is there a Luris? There's no Luris. This hand is great. Card draw, removal, Planeswalker. Sweeper. We do need to draw another swamp, but Bankbuster can help. Temple Scry to the top. Let's start busting that bank. Remember when Standard was all Bankbuster? Treasure map. All right, little advantage card versus disadvantage card. Well, let's get the ramp down, even though I really would have preferred to do it last turn. Not getting to draw with Bankbuster is sad. Also, 3 colorless sources and 1 black source is not where you want to be with Beseech the Mirror. Okay, they didn't have another spell. Gonna try to draw land. Fail. Let's use the blood. The first death of the commander. Treasure map scries. Missed a land drop and only 1 black source. We could have problems. Opponent digging on end step and upkeep, double bottom. Maybe they need land as well. Well, they have it. Statuary. Turn those treasures into improvisable artifacts. We draw a Go for the Throat. Hello, land. If you has any land, thank you. Beautiful to see. Plunder or Liliana? What would I discard? I'm honestly not sure. My cards are pretty good, but the opponent's not exploding onto the battlefield by any means, so it feels like Extinction Event could be it. I'm gonna feel really bad if they have something that I wish I could exile, though.
Nobody knows, Dominaria. Don't overthink things.
Swords. All right, the map is transformed, the treasures are in place, and there's an inspiring statuary, so these have improvise. I wonder why they didn't tap that for... Oh, it's an artifact, that's why. So they slam Citadel. That is big play. They go to 15. I mean, they don't plan to stop anytime soon, I'm guessing. 14, huh? We can't use... Well, I guess we can make a treasure. But first, I was going to say we can't beseech. Still feels like we can't beseech because we need to play cut down, remove this, then draw, make a treasure. How do we stop the Citadel? My deck doesn't have much to do it. Like, Karn doesn't do it. We could beseech into Karn, though, which would make a lot of things difficult for them. I think that will be my long-term plan. For now, we really need to draw land. Okay. Kind of doing it. Do I beseech into Karn here? If the treasures weren't gone. Like, if it were before the map flipped, I would definitely do that. Here, I'm not sure what to beseech into. I'm really kind of lost. There isn't an easy way to finish this Citadel or to keep the opponent from doing things. Maybe a Grafdigger's Cage would be a really good addition to the deck. Their life total, though, is a resource. I think if we limit their life total, that could be really powerful. Maybe we get Shieldred. That's just something that they can target, though. Actually, I don't feel like I have time anymore this turn, so I'm just going to plunder. And we're going to think about it during their turn. It's hard with 100 cards, man. It's hard. We still have up a removal spell, and if the opponent pays too much life, maybe we can just get them somehow. Thought sees me. That's what I get. There goes the mirror. Maybe. I mean, this is a lot of life, right? They're down to 11. They need a way to gain that back. Maybe if I beseech into one ring there. Interesting. Exile the token. Doesn't feel like a high priority target. So they have Cling. We don't have a creature in the graveyard. They do. So they can gain life. I like holding the Edict because they could have Planeswalkers. Okay. Land off the top. Oof. Are we Ashiok? We could try to hit them with the Haven. Putting their life total that low is a vibe. We're going to try to kill them. That really reduces the effectiveness of the Citadel. They want to draw here? Okay. Let's see what they can do with that Citadel now. They're way up in cards. They should still win this game. More card draw. I'll always wonder if I'd beseeched the mirror into Sheldred would have worked out, but seeing the Rite of Oblivion in the graveyard, the Sheldred's Edict out of hand, I don't think so. They also discarded a Swords to Plowshares. You don't usually do that if you're stone cold dead to a Sheldred. They pass. I think they're going to use their Cling. I guess if they... Do they have a way to just reach out and kill this? Not on board. Let's go for it. Go to 1. Unlikely. I believe the only creatures in the graveyard, though, are theirs, which means that they only get 1 shot of Cling. There you go. Do you find it weird they haven't used their Rite of Oblivion on one of these yet? I guess they really think they can cover it, or they want to save it for something that they find more impressive. But you're at 4. 4 is not much. I could draw Invoke Despair. Okay. Don't want to put the Sheldred in the graveyard if we can avoid it. They have a Tome. I would have thought they'd play Lotho. If they had done that the other way around, I guess they'd pay a life but get a treasure. They probably don't want to pay that life. They could, if they're not careful, they could leave themselves dead to Sheldred Bankbuster. Land off the Citadel. Breach, can't cast it. That probably ain't it. That's a very painful bond you got there. And we win? Unreal. I thought about scooping on that one. Wow. Life is a resource until it's gone. The Praetors are coming. Green versus black. Oh, green, my nemesis. We'll keep. We've got Necropotence, which is busted. We do have to find land. I'm trusting my tome. Kind of exciting that we might get Shieldred versus Vorin collects.
Brother, I will destroy you.
Just think, if we had the Netflix animated Magic the Gathering story for like the whole Phyrexian War or something like that, and we actually had voice actors who played like Shieldred and Vorinclex, it would be so fun to learn to do the voices. If you haven't seen the anime trailer for Eldraine, look it up on the Wizards YouTube channels. I'd watch that anime. That looks like a really cool anime. I liked the one from Kamigawa. I love the one from Eldraine. Oh, ooh. I was like, ooh, show me more. If that trailer played on Netflix, I would, I'd be adding to my list. I'd be starting immediately. Beautiful. Green be ramping. That is what green do. Necro. Now I'm going to show you how I play early Necro. I'm going to draw like 5 cards. I'm going to discard 2 cards on end step because that's how the card works. But we're going to go down to 20 right away just to make sure we have land and get to curve out for a long time. Now, anything I discard here gets exiled, which is a little heartbreaking, but Thought Distortion in particular I don't think is good against them, and I don't plan to break expectations. Maybe I should, though. Maybe Break is good and Grizzlebrand's too expensive, and we don't need Grizzlebrand when Necro's on the field. But we also don't need Bankbuster. And Grizzlebrand has the higher ceiling. We also don't need Arena, which, yeah, we'll go like this. For mana is Mana Dork and Mana Dork. Now we're going to skip our draw steps, so don't get too excited about Invoke Despair here, but we're going to keep that. We're going to also need another land. All right, 4 mana does what? We could draw the Invoke Despair. It's probably better if we actually deploy things to the board. Soul Transfer isn't particularly good. Let's plunder our opponent. They probably like their hand to some extent. Turn Timber, and they gave me a card. Ooh, and I can play it. And it's a ramp card. I like that. All right, so play that. Let's do another 5 because we are at risk of missing a land drop, and at least 2 cards in our hand are Clunky, Grizzlebrand, and the Bankbuster that I don't actually expect to use. I'm going to scry now. I really want to make sure that there's a land in this group. There is a land. There are a few more than needed. But I think these are good discards. By the way, that number going up on Ashiok is how many cards you can force your opponent to exile from their library with the ultimate. The ultimate can be a game winner if you find a way to exile your library, such as, say, Necropotence. So I can exile all these cards, then -7 Ashiok to make the opponent exile their whole deck. Thrun. Oh no! The Thrun believers will never let me live it down if I lose to Thrun. Invoke Despair doesn't stop Thrun yet. Our removal actually lines up a little awkwardly. If we do this, then 2 mana, this will make 4. And 4 is not 5. I'm like a mana off of a really great turn. But Ashiok on the board is kind of insane. With Necropotence.
Mine is an empty canvas for my heart. Leave no mind on
Exiling this will pump these, but of course there's other ways to do that with the Necropotence. We don't have a reliquary tower, but I think I can draw a nice solid 10 or 20. Nobody's actually let me do this before. Get all the way to the end step. But Necro Ashiok, go to work. And since I bet my opponent finds this boring, I am just going to go to the end step here. Well, we found the land. Cards to keep. I'll keep Lily. I'll keep one of these swamps. I'll definitely keep Invoke Despair. These cards. Submit 7. Does that XL animation have to go that slow? Can't we get a like a blood artist, you know? Obviously, yeah. Opponents not wanting to sit through that, I can't blame them. I don't think I deserve all the blame for it moving so painfully slowly. Not all of it. Any moment now, the matchmaker should be figuring out that we need some Atraxa gaming to really figure out if our deck is that good. Itali, Emoti, Atraxa. The open queue boogie creatures, right? That's what we need. I welcome the challenge. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Emoti. We did it. All right. I would love to have that God Pharaoh statue. So killing Emoti a lot is good. Necropotence in the opener is good. If we miss land drops, this game is over, but I'm not going to mulligan Necro. It's busted, as you hopefully have seen by now. This isn't so much the Ashiok show as the Necro show. And if I had a Dark Ritual, I'd turn one Necro every time. Okay, just land. It just has to be land. We have enough 5-drops, thank you. Mind Stone. Land. Okay. Okay. Opponent with ramp into ramp. Pretty good. Well, that sucked. How do you get a real test when you can't even draw your third land in the matchup where it matters, right? Hurts my soul. On the draw against Sauron, the Dark Lord, we probably won't miss land this time. Our hand is ramp and all card draw, and we have the new artifact, the Iron Crag, the new mana rock that probably goes in all the decks that aren't green and don't run like a million counterspells. Basically, it taps for a colorless. The long blah 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 at the bottom is when you play a legendary creature, you can turn this into a very mediocre piece of equipment. As somebody, shout out to my comment section, said, the best thing about the Iron Crag is you can give the opponent the indignity of beating them with equipment without actually running equipment in your deck. Paraphrasing, of course. Turn 1 Brainstorm. Kind of a weird turn 1 play against Mono Black because I could turn 1 Thoughtseize you. And Brainstorm is a beautiful response to a Thoughtseize because you can hide your best cards, but you don't know whether or not you need to be hiding those cards if you Brainstorm on your turn. Just a little thing. Passage, crack it, perfect Brainstorm, shuffle something away. Ouch. But will they take the ramp or the 1 ring? It's hard not to duress the 1 ring. There you go. Things are not looking promising at the moment. We're a turn behind and down the best card from our hand. And that Crux of Fate is a terrible draw. It just doesn't usually do much. It can get the commander off the board if they just tap out for the commander, I suppose. And that can be a big tempo swing. Usually Grixis doesn't have to make plays like that. Alright, Please draw a Mind Stone or something I can do here. Nope. Bank Buster would have been wonderful. Sure. I know I'm a thinker. This opponent is more of a thinker than I am. They are intense with their brain. Okay, creature spotted. Sacrifice a non-token creature. You know how many people have rage scooped because they picked the wrong mode on that card? Many. It was a good Geist Wave because it keeps me from following up with an Ashiok. Well, that's some crap. But I think we let them keep the Rusko for a turn and play the Ashiok. Divide by 0, go for the throat. Take the divide by 0. We want them to commit the Sorin next turn, and then the Crux of Fate gets them. It's the card in hand they still don't know about.
Even the grandest ideas start small.
If they top deck another removal spell, kill both of these and attack Ashiok, that will feel bad, but at least we'll have the contract we can play. They did. They top decked another removal. It's going to be one of those games. Now, I could have played around that by plussing Ashiok, but look at it this way. We got 2 cards out of them. Now, maybe that won't matter when the clock goes off, but we need the time. So I'm not that upset. Wow, we miss a land drop after that. The world is against us. We're not out of it yet, though. There's the Sorin. Which I'm sure makes the opponent feel warm and squishy. You still can't draw land. So this is the only play this turn? God, that sucks. We can't even crack the bauble. Non-dragon's dead. At least we're still even on mana. But they're going to get a new hand. Okay. Bring tempts them and we're not even on mana. Now we're down 2. I need a Bowmaster's staff. Shieldred would be nice. But on an empty board, let's use Davriel. This card's effects can be amazing, and we might get to pop 2 of them. We might even draw Bowmasters if we get a draw 3 here.
These are my terms.
You get an emblem with Blackless. Ooh, that can help us catch up big time. Exile 2 cards from your hand. I mean, I can gladly exile Languish. Whenever you draw a card, exile top 2. We might need those. We have Ashiok. If you give your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each creature. Oh, that's easy. Do I go get the land, or do I cast the staff? I'm trying to think of how the staff will work. We have to have Ashiok on the field for it to be great. Our life total is already kind of low. Could do this. I think I'm supposed to crack the bauble. The mana is such a problem. Let's see if they activate the clock here for their 7 right now, or if they wait. Because I think they can cast Sorin. Too bad you're not a legendary enchantment, but I have a legendary artifact that I can sacrifice to pay Sorin's ward. What a draw. Are you kidding me right now? Well, great.
I value my solitude anyway.
If I win this one, it wasn't because anything went my way. Oh my goodness. Probably the luckiest thing that's happened to me is getting this Davriel emblem when I was low on land. That might really save us. What would I like to get countered? I guess this. It's a very expensive way to get cards. If I play my commander here, it probably gets countered. Let's try for the arena. Maybe they won't counter that. Sure. Well, that means they're probably afraid of the game going a while longer. We played a land for turn, but we have them tapped out on blue. Let's... God, this hurts. Darn. All the land is here now. Good card. Another big mana advantage, unless we find Karn. Or we could get ahead with a Cabal Stronghold if we can find that. No creatures in graveyard for the Virtue. Zero mana Mind Spike. Maybe we can make our way through the counterspell. Get Ashiok Staff together. Flame. 5 damage to target creature. Draw 2 or destroy an artifact. Tail's End. Alrund's Epiphany. Well, not too difficult. Let's see if they remember to blow up the staff here. They're going to draw 2 themselves. That's greedy. That's very greedy. Alright, is making creatures the right call? I feel like we need cards, not creatures. Also, proliferate is an interesting call. I feel like we need cards. I'm feeling so behind. Okay, exile one of them. I exile this one. That is something we haven't shown off in the video yet. Pretty important. Should probably hold the staff up just in case they're going to blow up steal Ashiok. I can destroy it in response. They didn't foretell Epiphany yet, so it doesn't make birds. If they just take an extra turn, that's not the end of the world. Signet. 4 cards left. Okay, they're flooding out a bit too. That is brutal, but not the end of the world. I will draw a card. Get a Blossom to go hand. Remember, we have that sweet cost reduction emblem. The River's Rebuke isn't that bad. Land off the top. I really want to get down Ashiok and then Citadel. Let's go for it.
All who slumber belong to me.
Boom. Pay 5. Pay 2. Let's look around graveyards really quickly. Nothing yet. Let's make the tokens board presence. The opponent can do the thing with the birds.
From these nightmares.
But let's get the nightmares cooking. Okay, they're casting Sorin. If they have an untapped land... No, they can't. Epiphany's still 7. It's not 6 anymore. Nerfing. That will get a land. They spike me. Okay. Dig in. What do you take? The staff. Well, they have no cards in hand now for the Eldest Reborn. Let's take out the Rebuke as something that a Snapcaster Mage could cast that would make life hard. Lose 2, but Oh, it's damage. It's not life loss. Keep that in mind. Wow. It is, yeah, it's lose life. Let's go. Lose 3, amass 1. Could Fatal push this, but they would just make another. All right. How do we finish it? Invoke Despair doesn't get there because of the amass. It has to be a non-token creature. So this is pretty good. But we could also get, you know, Karn. We've been talking about Karn. Karn is very good here. Necropotence draws 1 million. There is no specific, like, draw the deck, win the game combo at the moment. Let's go, Karn. We are at 3. The Soul Cauldron is legendary. So it'll pay the ward. Virtue gains life. Let's do it. Karn shuts down half their mana. So they're going to make this into an artifact first.
Let us begin.
Exile one of them. I exile you. See, maybe we get something new on top. Break expectations, doesn't hit anything of theirs. Could target myself. See if we turn this into something cool. Ginger Brute? Ginger Brute gains life. Yo. This gains life too. 7 total mana we don't have. I think the Ginger Brute is the way. Also 0 mana, by the way. This is lose too? Sure is. Oh, it's pay life. It can say lose life and I still lose life. It's pay life. Ah, this is also not pay life. It is amazing how long I've been playing the card just to figure that out. And you lose 4 life. If you would pay life, it's not lose. Really? Weird. Can't wait to read the comments. Any cool artifacts? God Pharaoh's statue. I would need 1 more mana to cast it. Bummer.
Some solutions must be built.
Close game. Too bad I can't sacrifice the Ginger Brute if it's tapped. I should have left it untapped. I was a little tilted by the losing life just now. They're gonna put me to 1. Can they finish the job? If so, it's because I didn't understand how my card works. And it looks like they top decked the win? They already used a Prismari command. Do they have another burn spell, like a lightning bolt? They should have a lightning bolt, right? I thought they already used it. Oh, they reshuffled. Wait, why'd they let me untap? Because I'm dying right then to my own emblem. I got honestly tilted when I realized that I could still lose life with the Ashiok out. Like, that messed up my brain, and now I have no idea what works with Ashiok. So if you were taking this as an expert anything, apparently I am stupid. And yeah, my bad. Today's video is sponsored by Cook & Becker. Cook & Becker are celebrating the history and artwork of Magic the Gathering through a series of premium licensed art prints. Each season, they're going to release 5 new prints, starting with the summer season, which features Kiora, the Crashing Wave, Nissa of Shadow Bows, Basri Ket, Talia of the Vast, and Bitter Blossom. There will be 2 variations available for pre-order, the standard digital print and the deluxe screen print. Alongside these prints, Cook & Becker are releasing a singular exclusive not-for-sale print each season. The only way to get these prints is from a random drop for anyone who orders a premium edition art print. It might include a Black Lotus. That's right, the very first limited edition print is Black Lotus! Black freaking Lotus. Check out my affiliate link in the description and go to Cook & Becker's website and order today. Thank you to Cook & Becker for sponsoring this video.